Question: why do we need self-discipline? Health? Fitness? Yes. But that's only part of the foundation. For most people, during the day, they deal with difficult problems at work and follow company rules. After returning home, they still have to manage family matters. For every warrior who has fought in the workplace and in life for decades, simply mentioning the word self-discipline in front of them may even feel offensive. They would say, years of persistence, a serious attitude, a work-first principle, and always leaving the most stable emotions for work when unexpected events occur. Delivering quality and quantity on time, that is my personal value. It is a simple belief. I believe I am creating something, and I deserve my salary. Long-term commitment to a job requires willpower, self-restraint, and execution. Isn't that a true kind of self-discipline? So don't tell me that scrolling on my phone for a few hours after work instead of exercising or eating some high-calorie food is indulgence. I'm sorry. I can't afford more advanced relaxation options. What are you expecting? That after work I go straight to the gym for 2 hours of back training? Then swim 3,000 meters? Go home, eat an apple, drink a vanilla protein shake, calmly read a few pages of Shakespeare, sleep solidly for 8 hours, and wake up full of energy the next day? I can't do that. It's impossible time-wise, and I refuse to do a triathlon after an exhausting workday. The few hours I have left in a day, I don't want to control them anymore. I choose to drift. I just want to give my brain an anesthetic. Whatever what you want, call it. Dopamine indulgence or rest. I prefer to call it, I just don't want to completely fall apart. I am completely familiar with this feeling. During the day, willpower is requisitioned by the company. Limited autonomy is used to passively execute behavioral consistency in order to fulfill commercial contracts. Being able to do this already surpasses 60% of the world. Those who cannot adapt to rules mostly slide to the margins of society. Salary is the proof. But executing external discipline is not self-discipline. The daytime is survival labor under social rules in exchange for resources, while nighttime private time is closer to personal choice. It is easiest to turn rest and relaxation into a second tax. How does the income earned during the day quietly slip away at night? The system only needs a little time to understand. Every day you'd better spend 8 hours resting, 8 hours working, and 8 hours consuming. Algorithms and rules do not clock out in the evening. They are working overtime. Busy in subtle ways, they make people voluntarily use their salary to pay for satisfaction. Of course, you have the right to freely control your time and money. But for someone with long-term goals, if the daytime has already been exchanged for survival and nighttime private time is handed over to unconscious indulgence, essentially, you are draining your own opportunity to control the future. In this invisible game, the loss of defense over personal time will send the resources accumulated during the day back into the system in the form of bills and debt. This transmission, from micro daily routines to asset security, will be amplified when the macro environment changes. In a prosperous economic cycle, self-discipline is not a necessary condition for success. The buoyancy of the environment pushes those with courage and ability upward. But as the economic environment changes, self-discipline is no longer the privilege of elites. It is also the ticket for survivors. Today, individuals are increasingly emphasized and separated within the production process. Personal living expenses and unexpected medical costs are enough to shake an individual's productive capacity and a family's survival baseline. Young people begin to pay attention to health, change consumption patterns, force themselves to become familiar with restraint, and understand practicality. They know that external certainty is disappearing. Customers' demand may vanish, Bonuses may be canceled, assets may shrink, layoffs and bankruptcies may occur at any time. The quality of health has become a credible and controllable resource. At the same time, it is activating every ordinary person who urgently needs transformation in personal improvement, learning, and entrepreneurship. Self-discipline does not sell a lifestyle. It does not require you to purchase anything, and it helps you save and create new value. Because it is subtraction, a kind of free will without leaving the system. It helps people break free from the tug-of-war between income and temptation, filling the mind with the progress of self-growth, that is self-generated confidence and joy. This is why you realized early on the importance of building a disciplined and regular life for achieving long-term personal goals. The progress of the times creates more new choices. They make some things simple and convenient, but they also fill life with uncertainty. You use self-discipline as your operating system because it is not just a choice. Self-discipline is the right to choose about choices. At this moment, the value of self-discipline is rising, and its applicable fields are expanding. Increasingly, it is described as a personal defensive austerity strategy in today's socioeconomic environment. Like hibernating creatures that do not expand blindly, but concentrate energy on core organs. When resources are abundant, waste and sub-health can be offset by long-term economic growth. But when resources are scarce, any loss of control is consuming the chips used to fight risk. Throughout the 2000s, young people began an evolution of hormonal sovereignty. Professional and private time invaded each other and crossed boundaries. High-intensity work constantly refreshed the recovery threshold of stress and fatigue. More emotions could not be released, transforming into more personal consumption and suppressed desires. Sedentary civilization brought skeletal and structural damage. Metabolic premature aging led to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Dietary structure led to type 2 diabetes and collapse of insulin sensitivity. Circadian rhythm disorders reduced immune system function. Thyroid nodules and breast hyperplasia appeared. Over more than a decade, Generation Y exchanged effort and the younger onset of chronic diseases for an era of prosperity. Even depression and anxiety hidden deep inside increased. Attention disorders and prefrontal cortex damage caused by digital addiction became the most hidden disabilities of this generation. They always believed everything would get better. Tomorrow would be better. If Generation Z does not want to repeat the sacrifice of youth health and attention waste under globalization and the algorithm economy at the beginning of this century, we must try to understand it, not just accept all the convenience and comfort it brings. People are used to tightening awareness after losing control, demanding health after illness. You are different. You always maintain positivity and health in order to achieve longer-term accomplishments. On the road toward your goals, even with self-control, the process remains messy and chaotic, constantly falling into difficulties and frustration. But you must continue to explore in the dark and persist in surpassing yourself while moving forward. This is the real test. Such a choice will define who you ultimately become. They build comfort zones far from difficulties, gradually getting used to protecting what they already have, rather than constructing something new, choosing maintenance rather than risk. When a new cycle arrives, you are completing a new evolution. You will be the self-disciplined generation. No one can easily replicate past success anymore. Everything is changing. What remains unchanged is that you still have to walk into the fire to temper yourself. So, why do we need self-discipline? Because we choose to drive ourselves in a changing environment. It is a defense against being consumed by the environment. Because only by maintaining healthy inner aggression can we have a hard shield outward. It is an inner refinement and also a practical strategy. Self-discipline is the reorganization of the causal chain, building anchors in loss of control, connecting coordinates in adversity, expecting tomorrow's challenges and taking responsibility for missed opportunities. Every time you start with self-discipline and walk along the path of willpower, your arrival will not be the end, but your departure will always be. a new transcendence. Get up and go.